Happy Prince.
By Oscar Wilde.
In the central square of the city, atop a tall column, stood the statue of the Happy Prince. In his lifetime, this prince had been beloved by his people, and his reign was remembered as the most golden era in the history of the land. As an honor, his statue is covered in fine gold leaf. 2 glittering emeralds shone in his eyes, and a bright red ruby gleamed on the hilt of his sword. People looked at the statue and not only recalled his virtues, but also admired his beauty. Mothers would bring their children before him and say, "Look, you must grow up to be as kind and happy as he is." Others, gazing at his smiling face, would remark how content and joyful he looks. The sparkle in his eyes and the constant smile on his lips seemed to free him from all the sorrows of the world. One night, a swallow, separated from its flock, flew into the city. She was on her way to Egypt with her companions to spend the winter by the banks of the Nile. But night had fallen, and she needed rest. Circling over the city, she was captivated by the beauty of the prince's statue. She decided to spend the night at his feet. The air was fresh, the view delightful, and it offered some shelter from the cold. Feeling fortunate, she tucked her head beneath her wing and was about to sleep when a drop of water fell on her. Startled, she thought, "Oh no, it's raining. This is not a safe place." She was ready to fly away, but another drop fell. Looking up, she saw the sky was clear, without a single cloud. Yet the prince's eyes were brimming with tears. It was not rain, but his weeping. The swallow asked in surprise, "Who are you?" "They call me the Happy Prince," he replied. "If you're happy, then why are you crying? You've drenched me." The prince's voice was heavy with sorrow. "When I was alive, I lived in a grand palace where sorrow was not allowed to enter. I walked in gardens of flowers, danced under the glow of colorful lanterns, and everyone called me fortunate. But now, standing high on this column, I can see every street and every house in my city. I see how my people suffer in poverty and misery. My heart, though now made of lead, still feels as tender as it did in life. All I can do now is weep." The prince pointed toward a narrow street. In a house with a broken window sits a woman. Her face is pale with exhaustion, her fingers pricked and bleeding from her needle. She is embroidering stars on a gown of rich brocade that the queen's maid will wear at tomorrow's ball. But in the corner of her room lies her child, feverish and pleading for an orange drink. She has no money to buy medicine. "Swallow, will you take the ruby from my sword and give it to her? My feet are fixed to this pedestal. I cannot move." The swallow hesitated. "But I must go to Egypt. My friends are waiting for me by the Nile, with its warm sands and palm tree shade." The prince's voice softened. "Dear swallow, it's only for one night. Does your heart not ache for that child?" The swallow's heart melted. "All right, just for one night." She plucked the ruby from the prince's sword and flew over the city. Passing above the palace, she saw a ball in progress. A beautiful young woman said to her companion, "I've ordered a brocade gown for tomorrow, but these seamstresses are so slow." The swallow turned away in disgust and reached the poor house, where the woman had fallen asleep and the child was tossing in fever. She placed the ruby beside the sewing basket and fanned the child gently with her wings. "Oh, what a cool breeze," the boy murmured. When she returned, the swallow said, "Strange, though it's cold outside, I feel a warmth inside me after doing this." "That's the warmth of kindness," said the prince. "Good deeds warm the heart." The next morning, the swallow explored the city, perching on church steeples and shaking her wings by the river. Before sunset, she came to bid the prince farewell. "I'm going to Egypt now. Do you have any message?" The prince said, "Dear swallow, will you stay one more night? In a shabby attic lives a young man bent over his desk. His lamp is running out of oil, and he is shivering in the cold. He's writing a novel but fears he won't finish it. Will you take one of the emeralds from my eyes to him?" "But then you'll be half blind," she protested. "Please," the prince urged. So she plucked out one emerald and placed it on the young man's manuscript. The boy leapt up with joy. Surely someone admires my work, he cried. Returning, the swallow said, Now I must go. It's getting colder, and I must reach Egypt. One last task, swallow, said the prince. In the square below, a little match girl is crying. Her matches have fallen into the gutter, her feet are bare, and she has no hat. If she goes home empty-handed, her father will beat her. Please take my other eye and give it to her. Tears filled the swallow's eyes. No, prince. You'll be completely blind. It's my last wish, he said. Weeping, she took the second emerald and laid it in the girl's palm. The girl laughed with joy and ran home. When the swallow returned, she saw the prince was now blind. Her heart ached. Prince, now you are alone. I will never leave you. I'll stay here, no matter what. You must go to Egypt, said the prince. This cold is not for you. I will stay, she insisted, curling up at his feet. The frost grew harsher, and the city drains froze. Each day, the swallow flew over the city and told the prince of the suffering she saw. The prince said, Take the gold leaves from my body and give them to the poor. She stripped off the gold leaf, leaving the statue dull and gray. The swallow grew weaker. One day, she perched on the prince's shoulder for the last time. Goodbye, dear prince. I'm going to the house of death. No, go to Egypt. Death brings peace, she whispered, and fell at his feet, dead. The townspeople noticed the statue was no longer beautiful. They decided to tear it down and melt it. But the lead heart would not melt. Throw it on the rubbish heap, said the mayor. There it lay beside the little body of the swallow. Then God said to his angel, Bring me the two most precious things in this city. The angel brought the leaden heart and the dead swallow. God smiled. You have brought me what I love. Your one click is our encouragement. Please subscribe, like, and share. Thank you so much.